What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C4 here, bringing you my early look at what the rookies are going to look like in Madden 16. Now, as always, for this video, if it gets, I'll say 25 likes, I will go in depth at all the rookies and what rosters will, my best projections, will look like in Madden 16. I'm working really hard on these, and I will release them at, let's say, 3, 4, 5,000 likes. I will release my rosters. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, we definitely can go in deeper. But right now, I'm just going to stick with the team's top 2 picks in this draft. The 2015 draft has concluded. So I'm going to give you a quick look at the top rookies on each one of your teams to get a feel what they're probably going to look like in Madden. Like I said before, we'll say 30 likes. 30 fucking likes, and I'm going to release the full roster. So, starting with the Chicago Bears, their second round pick, Eddie Goldman, I gave him a 74 overall. This is going to be a teaser. I'm not really going to go super in-depth to the guys either. I'm going to make you guys want more. And then wide receiver Kevin White, their first round pick, I gave him a 77 overall. Look, you can see that little 96 speed. You know what? Fuck, we'll give their top strength too. So we give 96 speed on the Kevin White, and we're going to give Eddie Goldman 83 strength. Now looking at the Cincinnati Bengals, they went offensive line with both their picks. As you can see we'll give Paul Dawson 2 in the third round. Excellent late round. We gave him 72 overall. Jake Fisher, 76 overall, their second round pick of Oregon. Many projected him potentially as a first round pick. And Cedric Ogbuehi from Texas A&M, 78 overall. People said he could have slipped to the third round because of injury, but I still think he's an unbelievable talented tackle. No sleeper there. You know, he was there when Johnny Football was getting it done. 78. Now look at the Buffalo Bills. Did not have a first-round pick, but in the second round they did get Ronald Darby out of Florida State. Gave him a 74 overall. Probably one of the best second-day pickups in the secondary you could get. Maybe being a little bit generous. 95 speed. He's an absolute burner. Almost 6 feet tall. Solid player there to put next to Stephone Gilmore. Now we're going to the Denver Broncos, who took Shane Ray. Trade up gets Shane Ray. We'll give him a 78 overall. I think he is really overrated, but still has all-out pass. Like, remember Jason Babin? If you guys know who Jason Babin is, that's what Shane Ray's going to be. He's not effective whatsoever in the run, but an absolute monster against the pass. So we gave him a 78 overall. And our second-round pick was Ty Stambrello. We gave him a 72. Bit of a reach there. Probably a couple better prospects there in the second round. Going to the Cleveland Browns, who did not butcher this year's draft. Look at that. We gave him the 70 overall to Ifo Ekpre-Olumu. Was a projected first-round pick. Had that bad injury, so slipped to the 7th round, but I think he can get it out. So we gave him a 70. Duke Johnson, 72. Another sick draft pick right here. I don't really know why they would do this. They get Isaiah Crowell and Terrence West back there, but still Duke Johnson, one of my best running backs in this year's draft class. But looking at their first-round pick, Danny Shelton, one of them, 80 overall. I think the best pure nose tackle I've seen in quite some time. Their second-round pick, Nate Orchard, 73 overall, Utah. Very, very hectic, very, very good underrated pick here in the second round. And their other first-round pick at number 19, Cameron Erving, the center from Florida State, 74 overall. Again, didn't make a whole lot of sense because don't they have Alex Mack, but still a very solid prospect here in Cameron Erving. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, of course. First, they got Donovan Smith I believe they got him in the second round from Penn State, 71 overall. Ali Marpet from Hobart, 74. Look, his college is not even in this game. I think this is an absolute sleeper pick. I love what they did. They got Jameis, so they went ahead and got 2 fantastic prospects in the offensive line to hopefully build around him as he grows. And we got old Jameis Winston down here, 82 overall. 79 speed. You got to adjust that. Jameis Winston at best will have 70 speed. But yes, 82 overall for the best first overall pick. A little bit question, you never know if he's going to, do something stupid off the field. He already did that stupid crab legs thing on draft day. What an idiot. What a fucking idiot. But still, one hell of a football player. All he does is win games. Now we got the Arizona Cardinals. DJ Humphries, the right tackle out of Florida. Gave him a 78 overall. Excellent right tackle. Solid, safe pick here from Bruce Arians and the Arizona Cardinals. And their second round pick was Marcus Golden out of Missouri. Didn't really rate him that high, but obviously, who am I to judge? That sick Arizona defense. 71 overall for Marcus Golden. San Diego Chargers, they took Denzel Perryman in the second round. My favorite middle linebacker in this year's class. This guy's an absolute thumper. Gave him a 76 overall. I think maybe the highest overall grade for a second round pick. Obviously, my bias with Eagles, I think I might have helped. Got another guy that's up there around 76, but still not bad at all. And then, of course, we gave Melvin Gordon the 80. I was worrying about going a little bit lower, but he's going to be an absolute workhorse back there for San Diego next year. Fantasy stud incoming. Now we got the Kansas City Chiefs. Obviously, they took Marcus Peters for the first in their first round. I think he was the best corner, pure cover corner in this draft. He's by far the best in press and man. Zone, maybe not so much, but I gave him an 81. I think he will have a good a chance as anyone else if he keeps his head clean to be Defensive Rookie of the Year. And then their second round pick was Mitch Morse. So that was kind of a bum pick. Don't really know a whole lot about him, so we gave him a 72. Maybe could have been lower. This was pass. Now looking at the Indianapolis Colts, they only had one pick through the first 2 days, and that is, the first 2 rounds, and that is Philip Dorsett. Gave him a 74 overall because he is an absolute burner. This pick made no sense whatsoever. I mean, they do not need help at wide receiver whatsoever, and he's pretty much a like for T.Y. Hilton. So, pretty unsure about that pick right there. Dallas Cowboys, we gave him maybe the 2 highest round grades. I think Randy Gregory was a terrible decision. But Byron Jones, one of my favorite players in this year's draft, we gave him a 77 overall. And we have to give Randy Gregory a 77 because on-field talent, he is a 77 in Madden. But I mean, with the characters they have in Dallas, you got Greg Hardy, you got Ronaldo McClain, you got Dez Bryant. Those are not role models you need for a guy that's having a lot of issues off the field. But I actually don't hope it works out because if it does work out, it's gonna be really tough for the Eagles that come up and face them twice a year. But I don't think it is gonna work out. Now looking at the Miami Dolphins, they got Jordan Phillips in the second round, nose tackle, 74 overall, and we give look at Jai, 71, even though he has the bone-on-bone injury. And then we give Devontae Parker an 80 overall, wide receiver out of Louisville, excellent pickup. I think he has the chance to be this year's Odell Beckham Jr. in regards to being the clear number 3 wide receiver on paper, but being able to have potentially the best wide receiver receiving season out of all the rookies this year. Now looking at my Philadelphia Eagles, we gave Nelson Agholor a 76 overall. I don't know, Ja'Cory Shaw, I still got to edit all these. I only really did these videos to prep the top 2 picks. So Agholor 76 overall, and we gave Eric Rowe a 76 overall. I think Eric Rowe and Byron Jones are pretty much like for like, both really good players. And I think that Eric Rowe, Denzel Perryman, and maybe Landon Collins were the top 3 second-day picks for me. But yeah, 276s there on the Philadelphia Eagles. Atlanta Falcons, Vic Beasley, 80 overall. Vic Beasley's a monster, one of my favorite players in this year's draft. And we give Jalen Collins a 74 overall. Has limited starts from LSU, but still one hell of a prospect. San Francisco 49ers, we gave Eric Armstead a 74 overall, still a bit of a project player. Jaquiski Tarrant was an absolute reach in the second round. I didn't think the 49ers had a very good draft, but Eli Harold was maybe the steal of the draft. Can't believe he went in the 3rd round. Excellent pickup here. The New York Giants, Landon Collins 75 overall, phenomenal pick. Eric Flowers 76 overall for their first round pick. I think that was Eric Flowers might have been the worst pick, I think, in the first day. It fills a need, but I think there's a lot better prospects at tackle. But still, he's very talented out of Miami. Looking at the Jaguars, we gave TJ Yeldon their second round pick a 72. Michael Bennett 73. Probably need to edit that down. I believe it was like 4th round pick. But Dante Fowler 83 overall. Unbelievable prospect. Probably maybe one of the few sure things in this year's draft on talent. Maybe a little bit of questions off the field. He was pretty flamboyant there on the red carpet. But I think he's a beast. And they got AJ Cann, who I had as my top-rated guard going into this year's draft. So I gave him a 71. Maybe Bennett's the only guy here on the Jags I need to edit down a little bit. Looking at the Jets, phenomenal draft. Devin Smith at Ohio State, we gave him a 74. And Leonard Williams, still can't believe the Redskins passed on him. Leonard Williams is an absolute animal. We gave him an 84 overall. Detroit Lions, we gave Laken Tomlinson a 78. Seems like a very safe, sure thing pick. And running back Amir Abdullah, 74. Going to be a great backfield combination there. Him and Joique Bell. That's what it was. Now looking at the Green Bay Packers, went all secondary. Demarius Randall, we gave him a 74 overall. Maybe one of the. I don't think he should have been a first-round pick. I think he's overrated, but still a good compliment to HaHa Clinton Dix. And then we gave Quentin Rollins a 73 overall. 2 really solid prospects in the secondary. Now the Carolina Panthers went Shaq Thompson. 70. We gave him a 74 overall. Not really sure what position he's going to play. Outside linebacker, safety, running back. But wasn't too sure why they took him. That seemed like, not really a fit. And then they went Devin Funchess. We gave him a 73 overall. I don't know why you get a like for like with Kelvin Benjamin. I think you should have went after maybe the Devin Smith, a good compliment, not a like for like, but it is what it is. New England Patriots, they went Malcom Brown, last pick. Can't believe he slipped. Great value there, 78 overall. And then they went Jordan Richards out of Stanford. Didn't know a whole lot about him, so we just gave him a 70. Doesn't jump off the board me for anything he's done. But, Bill Belichick's known to get the most out of his players. Not only the Raiders, Mario Edwards out of Florida State, 74 overall. I remember a couple years ago, he was like the top-rated guy coming out of high school. Was pretty solid at Florida State. His weight fluctuates a little bit, but a solid pick here. And then, of course, Amari Cooper, the best wide receiver in this year's draft. We had to give him an 84 overall. I think he's going to be the front runner for Rookie of the Year. I think him and Derek Carr are going to be a great combination for years to come. Now look at the St. Louis Rams. People are still scratching their head at what they did here. But I can justify it. Well, the second round they got Rob Havenstein. I think a bit of a reach. That's why we didn't even give him a 70 yet. 68 overall. But Todd Gurley, we gave him an 85. My favorite player in this year's draft. I think Todd Gurley is the best pound-for-pound player when healthy in this year's draft. I understand why you couldn't pass him up, but I just think because he has so many needs, and you had guys like Trae Mason and Zach Stacy, sometimes things don't just line up. You got to go and address some, because they have areas of concern on their team along the offensive line. But still, Todd Gurley, absolute beast, has all the potential in the world to be a Rookie of the Year type player. Now looking at the Baltimore Ravens, we went after Brashad Perriman in the first round, 73 overall. An absolute burner, all the height, weight, speed you could love, but not really good hands. Dropped a lot of balls at UCF, bit of a project player. But I don't. If it's one of those things, if you really want him, you couldn't wait and get him in the second round. He would have been gone. And then they got Max Williams, who I think was the best tight end in this year's draft. Great value in the second round. We gave him a 74. Look at the Washington Redskins. They got Preston Smith in the second round out of Mississippi State. We gave him a 72 overall. Still a little bit raw, but an excellent pass rusher. Had good last season there at Mississippi. And then we get Brandon Scherff, the right tackle, an 80 overall. Probably the best interior offensive lineman in this year's draft. Might actually need to make his position change there to a guard. Still can't believe they passed on Leonard Williams, but I guess they look for the need as opposed to best player available. And I'm so glad they didn't take Leonard Williams. That would suck coming to play against him twice a year. New Orleans Saints had 3 picks over these days. They got Andrews Pete. We gave him an 81 overall. I think he's a phenomenal prospect to have an offensive line as good and as high a ceiling as anyone in this year's draft. Then they got Stephone Anthony at middle linebacker. A lot of people have him as the sleeper linebacker of this year's draft, so we gave him a 74. The bad pick, though, is Haloi Kikaha from Washington. Absolute sack machine, but many people had him going like the 4th round, maybe even as low as the 5th round. They took him in the 2nd, so that was a big reach there. But, I mean, if you do want sacks, that's what you do here. Garrett Grayson way down to 75. See, I still need to edit some of these rosters a little bit. The Seahawks, they had Frank Clark in the 2nd round. They didn't have a 1st round pick, obviously, from the Jimmy Graham trade. Frank Clark, some questionable off the field issues. Still gave him a 70 overall. I think their best pick of the draft was Tyler Lockett out of Kansas State, 70 overall. All the potential in the world. You should actually hope and be optimistic that he could be one of their starting wide receivers this season. Pittsburgh Steelers. Look at this. They got Senquez Golson in the 2nd round. I like Senquez Golson. I think he was very underrated just because of his size. Excellent ball locating skills in the secondary. Had a fuck ton of interceptions last year for the Land Sharks and Ole Miss. But a bit of a reach. A lot of people said anywhere from 3 to 5, and they took him in the 2nd. But you get the guys you want. And then they got Bud Dupree in the 1st round. Very, very solid prospect. Gave him a 76 overall. Now looking at the Houston Texans, we gave Bernard Drake-McKinney the 2nd round pick at 72 overall. I think he hurt himself at the combine. Didn't really help himself out. Ran a slow 40 and stuff like that. But, not too often you get a 6'4", 250-pound middle linebacker. So great prospect right there. We gave Kevin Johnson a 75. I think a bit of a reach where they got him. They should have probably traded down if this was their guy that they're set on getting. But still very, very talented. So we gave him a 75. And then they got Jalen Strong, I believe in the 3rd round, was it? 3rd or 4th round. He slipped because of an injury, but he's an absolute... I think he's going to be one of the steals of the draft when all is said and done, so we gave him a 72. Looking at the Tennessee Titans, we gave Dorial Green-Beckham a 74, all 6'5", 225 pounds, good speed, good hands. Only problem with him, his route running is absolutely atrocious. Literally plays like a guy fresh out of... He's probably the closest prospect you'll ever see to a guy playing almost right out of high school. So I think it's going to be, a work in progress. I think he could have a strong sophomore season, but I think he might struggle a little bit to the dynamics of the NFL game. And then, of course, Marcus Mariota, giving him an 80 overall. Still can't believe they took this pick, especially with Zach Mettenberger. I won't be surprised if Zach Mettenberger ends up being the starter there, just because of a pure scheme thing. I think Zach Mettenberger, if he was in this year's draft class, would have been the clear number 3 quarterback on the board. You had that. You already had that with 1 year's experience. And you took a guy that you're going to have to, there's so much uncertainty about. But we still got to give him an 80 overall. He's going to be really, really fun to play with in Madden. And, yeah. Now, the Minnesota Vikings, we're looking at, they got Trae Waynes in the 1st round. Pretty much, everything you look for in a corner. The only downside is he didn't face any, really good top wide receiving competition in college, but still all the things you need for a top-ranked prospect. So we give him a 79, and then probably one of the best second-round picks in the draft was Eric Kendricks out of UCLA. Excellent pickup, filled a need, and very solid draft. Look all the way down there, too. TJ Clemmings, another guy that slipped because of an injury. Excellent value there. I think the Vikings had a phenomenal draft. I give them an A+ for their draft. Maybe the strongest draft in this year's, especially for the first 3 picks, the strongest draft out of every team this year. There, but guys, there's a quick look, very, very quick. Well, it's almost 15 minutes. We had to go through every team of all the rookies in this year's Madden, or the upcoming 2016 Madden. So as always, if this video can hit 30 likes, I will go through an in-depth. I'll make one video for each team going through what the roster is going to look like next season. But yeah, till next time, guys, it's your boy C4 saying make sure you subscribe to Beast Mode TV, smash that like button, and peace out.